Welcome to the deep dive. Today we're going deep on why we age. But, and this is key, this isn't our usual wrinkles and gray hair chat.
Nope.
This time it's all about something we all do every single day. Eating.
It's a pretty wild idea, you know?
Yeah.
Like, the very act of eating, of digesting food could be, part of why we age.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know, right? Okay, so the study that kind of kicked this whole thing off, it's called, get this, Aging by Autodigestion, just came out. PLOS One journal. Heard of it?
Mm-hmm.
It basically says aging might be like a side effect of digestion.
Basically. Yeah, the researchers they're suggesting that those powerful, you know how our bodies make digestive enzymes, the ones that break down everything?
Right.
Well, the older we get, they might actually be part of what's breaking down other parts of us too.
Wait, so like our own stomach is attacking us from the inside?
That's a bit dramatic, but you're not totally wrong. Think of it like this. Your digestion, it's a finely tuned machine, right? Makes these super potent enzymes. Trypsin, elastase. Now, what were the other
Oh,
ones?
God.
Lipase, amylase. Each one is made to break down a different part of your food.
Okay. Vaguely ringing a bell from like high school bio.
Right, so they're like demolition crews, just dismantling everything so your body can use the good stuff. But, big but, they're supposed to stay put in your gut.
Because if they got out, that'd be bad.
Exactly. And what this study's saying is, as we get older, the walls of our intestines, that intestinal barrier, it might get a little leaky.
Leaky gut.
Totally.
Right. Always hearing that. But usually from, those wellness blogs. Not so much like hard science.
Right, and you got to be careful of that stuff. But what's cool about this study is it's like maybe there's a real scientific reason this leaky gut thing matters for aging.
So you're saying this leaky gut lets those demolition crews, those enzymes, get out into the rest of us.
That's the theory, and they found proof. They looked at young rats, old rats, checked for these enzymes in their organs. Guess what?
They found them.
Yep. Way higher in the old rats, not just in one spot either. Liver, lungs, heart, even their skin.
Oh, no. So they're just, lost on the way to the stomach and start breaking down whatever they bump into?
Pretty much. And remember we were talking about collagen before, how it's like the scaffolding that holds everything together?
Right. Keeps us all, firm and young-looking. Or as young as we can manage at this point.
Exactly. Well, they found a lot of collagen damage in the old rats, too, in the same organs where those enzymes were.
Okay, now hold on. Are you saying those rogue, what were they called?
Enzymes. Digestive enzymes.
Right. Are they what's causing, like, wrinkles?
Yeah.
And sagging?
It's not quite that simple, but the study does kind of connect them. See, collagen, it gives your skin that bounce back, but it's also in your organs, tissues, everything. So damaging it is bad news for aging, and this is suggesting maybe those leaky guts, those enzymes on the loose, are part of the problem.
This is a lot. Okay, so leaky gut, enzymes going wild, collagen breaking down. Anything else we should be freaking out about?
Well, it gets more interesting. Because they didn't just see where the enzymes were. They looked at what they were doing in those organs. And what they found, well, it might be linked to something a lot of us deal with as we get older. Insulin resistance.
Insulin, like blood sugar stuff.
Exactly.
Insulin resistance. Okay, so that's where our bodies, they kind of stop responding to insulin the way they should.
Yeah.
Right. And then your blood sugar gets all out of whack.
Yeah, exactly. It's like the main thing that can lead to type 2 diabetes, which, as we know, is way more common as we age.
Yeah, it's like people just figure, we're getting older, what do you do? But what's it got to do with, leaky gut and our digestive system waging war on us?
Okay, so get this. The older rats, the ones with like the leaky guts and all those enzymes in the wrong places, they also had way fewer insulin receptors in their brains.
Oh, yeah, hold up. Insulin receptors in the brain. I thought that was all about like blood sugar, right?
It is, but it's not just muscles and your liver that have those receptors. They're everywhere, even your brain. And what these researchers are saying is maybe when those enzymes, those digestive ones, when they go rogue and end up where they shouldn't be, they could be messing with those receptors.
So it's like they're cutting the communication lines between the insulin and the brain. So the body's like, what do we do with all this sugar?
Bingo. That's how this whole digestive system gone rogue could be playing a part in, people getting insulin resistant and then maybe even diabetes down the line.
My God. We started with a leaky gut. Now we're talking about our brain short-circuiting. I got to admit, I'm kind of feeling betrayed by my own stomach here. Like, what can we do about this?
$1,000,000 question, right? So the researchers, they tried giving the older rats something called a trypsin inhibitor.
Trypsin inhibitor. Sounds intense.
Basically, it blocks how trypsin works. That was one of the main enzymes, remember? The ones that were showing up all over in the old rats.
So it's like they put those demolition crews on lockdown. What happened?
Pretty wild, actually. The leaky gut, it got better. The enzyme levels in other organs, they went down. And their blood sugar, even that improved.
Hold on. They messed with digestion, blocked an enzyme, and things got better. How's that work?
I know, right? Sounds backwards. But remember, we're talking about a specific thing here. Those enzymes, they're basically acting like, bulls in a china shop outside the digestive tract. So stopping them there, it actually helps.
Okay, yeah, that makes more sense. But be honest. Should we all be, stocking up on this trypsin inhibitor stuff now?
Whoa, slow down there. This was one study with rats, not people. We need way more research before we're, giving out medical advice.
Right, of course. Safety first. But still, this is huge. Like the idea that just giving our digestion a break could, help us age better.
It's something, isn't it? And it actually connects to other stuff we know about longevity. Ever heard of caloric restriction? Or intermittent fasting?
Yeah, those are the big things now. Though, full disclosure, not my strong suit.
Well, this might give you, and everyone listening, a little extra motivation to maybe rethink those snack breaks. Because what if, just what if, those practices, they're working because they're actually helping manage this whole digestion thing we're talking about?
Okay, you're going to have to break that down for me. Pretend I'm really, really attached to my snacks here.
All right, picture it. Every time you eat, your body's like, party time. Let's get those enzymes going.
Wow.
Right, it ramps up production to break everything down. Now, if you're snacking constantly, it's like, party never stops. Enzymes are flowing all the time.
And all those enzymes.
Yeah.
Constantly. That's what wears down that intestinal barrier. Makes it more likely to get leaky.
Ding, ding, ding. We got a winner.
Yeah.
But when you're doing those, fasting things or cutting back on calories, you're giving your system a break. It's not just enzymes 24/7. That barrier, it has a chance to, chill out, repair itself.
So maybe all this time, these old school practices, literally old school when it comes to living longer, maybe they work because of this. Not just how much you eat, but giving your gut a chance to, catch its breath.
Exactly. It's about finding that balance.
Wow. A lot to digest here. No pun intended.
Yeah.
But so interesting. Really makes you think. We think of digestion as oh, that's just my stomach doing its thing.
Mm-hmm.
But this study's showing it could be way bigger, affecting our whole body, how we age, everything.
For sure. Shows how everything's connected. What affects one part, it ripples out everywhere.
And maybe what we eat, it's not just about our waistlines anymore.
This is kind of blowing my mind. It's like what happens in the gut doesn't stay in the gut, which is, kind of freaky, but also kind of awesome when you really think about it.
Right. It just shows how much we don't know about aging. But this research, it's like opening a whole new door, what if we could make that intestinal barrier stronger as we age? Or control those enzymes when they're outside the gut instead of just going, oh, well, getting old. We could actually help our bodies at the source age better, not just, look better, but be healthier overall.
Exactly. And this study, it reminds us we don't have to wait for some fancy new drug or whatever. Something as basic as paying attention to how we eat, giving our gut a rest. That could make a difference.
That's what I love about these deep dives. We start with this one study, aging, digestion, and suddenly we're questioning everything. How we eat, how our bodies even work.
Yeah.
It's like you said, a whole new path.
Who knows what we'll find?
Exactly.
Yeah.
So for you, what's the biggest thing here? What do you hope people listening, what do they walk away with?
For me, it's that reminder, our bodies, their systems, everything's connected. And yeah, it's easy to get sucked into, the latest anti-aging craze, but real health, living longer, it probably comes down to supporting those systems, starting with the basics. What we eat, how we treat our digestion.
Making choices for the long haul, not just the quick fix.
100%. And this research, it should make people, a little more take charge, Don't be afraid to ask your doctor questions, do your own research, but good research, not just whatever, and stand up for yourself.
Yes. Knowledge is power, right?
Yeah.
And speaking of, we just threw a ton of knowledge at you. So what really hit home? What questions do you have? Hit us up on the website, social media, let us know. And as always, thanks for joining us on this deep dive.